I've got the most important tool that you'll need in order to prep for a barbecue competition. Let's get right into it. So you've got a barbecue competition this weekend and you want to prep the right way. The first thing that I would say you guys need to do is plan ahead. Make sure that you have a list of everything that you are going to need for this barbecue competition. And I'll tell you what, I think that is very, very important because you don't want to forget anything like we have a few times before. Some of the things that I think are extremely important to bring to barbecue competitions is a barbecue thermometer, a vacuum sealer. Well, that's really for before the barbecue competition, but I do think a good vacuum sealer is just very, very important. A grease separator, if you know, you know. If not, ask me in the comments. I definitely think you need some sort of wash station, otherwise you're coming home with about 1,000 dirty dishes. And you guys might have some tools specific to the way that you cook, but start with the list. Make sure you check it once, twice, 3 times. Make sure you've got everything to head to your competition. So the biggest thing to remember is a lot of us, we still have day jobs. Barbecue is not our full-time job. So you have to do these things throughout the week. Think about it, if we're starting on Sunday, that gives you Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to get ready. That's 5 days and that's plenty of time for this barbecue competition. So for us, we either have our brisket already or we're starting to look for it on Sunday. Brisket for us is the hardest thing to find. I want to make sure I get a nice brisket. I'm at least looking for a prime. So I'm looking for a brisket on Sunday at the absolute latest. Chicken in general for us right now is very easy to find because we're running thighs and or wings. And those are just extremely to find at my local grocery store. I'm not worried about those at all whatsoever. When it comes to pork and ribs, one of my local meat markets, I already have them on lock, so I'm pretty comfortable. I could wait all the way till Wednesday or Thursday if I wanted to. But you have to remember that you need to trim all of these things before you get to the competition. That is completely allowed. So if you guys want to make sure that you have plenty of time, you're gonna want to start trimming a lot earlier in the week. Another good thing about starting earlier in the week is if you open up your meats in that cryovac and you see something you don't like, you still have the opportunity to go back and get something different. Now, obviously that's not ideal. You would like for whatever you pick to be what you take to the competition, but sometimes you can't see. I like Prairie Fresh ribs and pork, and sometimes in the cryovac, you know, it says Prairie Fresh all over it. You don't see something in there, there might be a big gash. One of these ribs might have the bone popping out, you just don't know. So the earlier you start, the more time you have to get those perfect meats for your competition. We talked about Sunday, we talked about Monday, and on Tuesday is when I like to get everything cleaned and ready for the competition. So for me personally, I like to make sure I have clean drums. That way I can absolutely 100% control the flavors that are going onto my meat. I was watching Brad Leiniger and Tim Shear. This was, man, it could have been a while back, but they talked about keeping a clean drum. And I have to give them props for that. I didn't think of this on my own, but it makes so much sense. If you have a clean drum, if you have a clean pit, you can 100% control what's going on your meat. If you have grease, if you have buildup that's been on there for, I don't know, let's just say a month, 2 months, at some point it's gonna start tasting and smelling really, really foul. And that might affect the way your meats are tasting. So I like to keep clean drums. Thankfully this week, my wife took care of cleaning my drums for me. She's absolutely incredible. I was watching her do it on camera. That sounds weird, right? But I was at work, right? And I kept getting a notification that something is in your driveway, something is in your driveway. I was like, dude, I was kind of busy in the beginning, but then I finally picked up my phone and looked at it. My wife's got all my drums tipped over. She's cleaning over everything. She is absolutely amazing. In a little bit, we'll talk about the most important tool when it comes to barbecue competitions, but just know that my wife, man, she really helped out this week. So she uses degreaser from Sam's to clean the inside of the drums, get all that gunk out of there. And then she uses Dawn dish soap. Pretty simple. We'll burn our pits out before we use them just to make sure there's no chemicals or anything, but that's how we clean our drum smokers. If you guys are using an offset or a completely different pit, you do you, but me personally, I like to have a clean pit. Again, shout out to Brad and Tim. They're the ones that said that, put that in my head, and I've been thinking that way ever since. I feel like our food consistently comes out tasting the same. And to me, that's very important. So now it's Wednesday. We're gonna work on getting our sauces, we're gonna work on getting our brines and everything ready to rock and roll. Now for us personally, we do not pre-mix our brines. So we have our powder and we have our liquid and we keep those separate. What my wife actually does is she vacuum seals the powders and she labels them completely. So I know that this powder goes with this liquid, and then at the competition, I pour it in the jar, I shake it up, I'm ready to rock and roll. If you guys can streamline anything like that, I 100% recommend it. I don't think that we have the perfect recipe for success, but I do think that since we've been doing it a lot this year, we've learned a lot of things. And you really can make things a lot easier, especially like, this is kind of off topic, but if you have stuff in your trailer and you know exactly where it is, it makes it really easy for everything you're trying to do. And at this point, you can start gathering all of your ingredients and putting them together in a container. We've found that it makes it really easy to transport, put it in our trailer, take it in and out, whatever. You guys need to make sure that you're taking all of your Gulf Coast smoked seasonings to your competition. Hey, they're award winning. We've been doing good. We actually have some people that have been doing really good with them as well. So make sure to order today. Now it's Thursday and it's time to pack up and load everything. And that's where I want to go back to tip number 1. Have that list. Check it once, check it twice, check it 3 times. Make sure you're not forgetting anything. We've actually driven off about 45 minutes, realized we forgot our brine liquid, and drove all the way back. Probably could have gone to H-E-B and got some more liquid, but we were just really frustrated with ourselves and we're like, no, we're going back to get it. So try not to do that. Try to make sure that you have a checklist. My wife actually, what she did was, she has it on our computer, she printed it out, laminated it, and we'll check it off every single competition. Again, she's just absolutely amazing when it comes to getting ready for our competition. So make sure you got everything strapped in. I always like to take some tools with me to competitions just in case I get a flat. Thankfully it hasn't happened yet. Just in case anything happens where I need a hammer, I need a screwdriver, whatever, I always like to take that. Take a fan, take some waters, especially right now it's really hot, take some cooling towels. All that stuff is just, it's on a need to know basis. It's like, maybe you won't need it in the winter, maybe you'll need it now because it's really hot. So there are gonna be things that are gonna be floating around all the time. So now that we've prepped all week, we're here at Friday, and of course, that preparation that we did makes it really easy for us to transition into leaving to Kingsville around 10 a.m. So I talked to you guys a little bit about it, but if you guys want to start earlier with your meets or anything, that's completely fine. Change this timeline based to what fits you. I know a lot of us are still working, so use the few hours that you have after work in order to get this stuff done. I really try and do at least an hour or 2 every day after work, trimming meats, packing something up, just getting ready. Don't forget also, like if you need your sauces, if you need your injections, anything like that, try not to wait till the week of the competition to start ordering those things. You want to look at them the week prior. Hey, do I need any sauce? Do I need any injections? Do I need any of this? Whatever. Some tools, unfortunately, you just cannot get when you're in another town. Like, you're not going to be able to necessarily just buy Blues Hog wherever you go. You're not going to be able to buy another injector wherever you go. So I actually keep 2 injectors on me. I know I'm kind of getting off on a tangent now, but you guys need to let me know if you guys want a specific video on my top 5 choices for what's the most important thing to take to a barbecue competition. So I told you guys before, what's the most important tool to take to a barbecue competition or have for competition barbecue? And for me, it's a wife that supports you. Man, I could not tell you, like, I literally was mind blown. She packed all the drums this week. She cleaned all the drums this week. She got the brines and the injections and the marinades, everything together. So for me, she is my #1 most important thing for competition barbecue. As always, we really appreciate you guys tuning into this video. Thanks, and we'll see you on the next one.